While the Kremlin is attempting to foster separatist entities in post-Soviet countries, separatism, the oppression of Russian speakers, and the erasure of Russian history are escalating within Russia itself. Some State Duma deputies rebelled against the Chechen authorities' decision to rename Cossack villages in the Republic. The issue concerns renaming the settlements of Sernovodskoye, Shelkovskaya and Naurskaya. Russian media cite a harsh statement from United Russia deputy Vladimir Shamanov, a veteran of 2 Chechen wars, who called the Chechen authorities' decision a direct attack on Russian history. Not only did you kick out the Russian-speaking population from there, now you're erasing the names. A member of Putin's party was indignant. He was supported by Deputy Sergei Obukhov from the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, emphasizing that the rejection of the name Naurskaya erases the memory of the Cossacks who founded the village back in the 17th century. Despite criticism from a number of deputies, the bill passed its first reading. According to the document, Sernovodskoye is planned to be renamed Sernovodsk. Shelkovskaya will become Terek, and Naurskaya will become Nevre, which means north in Chechen. Previously, Russian opposition media had repeatedly written about the separatism of Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov, who skillfully juggles Russian laws, turning various situations to his own advantage. Recently, The Times wrote that Putin perceived Kadyrov's mention of the succession of power in Chechnya as an attack on his authority. The conflict between the Kremlin and Chechnya, which has existed semi-openly for decades, is now resurfacing. The source of the tension is Ramzan Kadyrov's desire to groom his son, Adam, a teenager who is only 17, for power. Although Kadyrov has older children, Adam has become his chosen successor. According to The Times, Adam Kadyrov has been given several official positions in recent months, including the post of Secretary of the Chechen Security Council, a strategic role for governing the republic. In May, Ramzan Kadyrov met with Vladimir Putin. According to Al Jazeera, during a closed conversation, he allegedly directly proposed handing over power to Adam. However, the Kremlin rejected the idea. According to Professor Emil Aslan of Charles University in Prague, Moscow may be willing to maintain control of Chechnya in the hands of the Kadyrov clan, but it categorically does not support a teenager in the top post. The Kremlin's main priority is stability in the region, and Adam is not yet capable of guaranteeing it. Aslan believes Ukraine and the entire world are seeing instability growing not only on the front lines but also within Russia. A possible transition of power in Chechnya, especially if it occurs contrary to Moscow's position, could trigger a chain reaction of destabilization. Russia, having survived 2 Chechen wars, cannot afford a new round of tension in the Caucasus, especially against the backdrop of a protracted war against Ukraine.
President Donald Trump met with Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan at the White House Thursday as the U.S. weighs lifting its ban on advanced fighter jet sales to the NATO ally. According to Associated Press speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump referred to Erdogan as an old friend, even for 4 years, when I was in exile, repeating claims the 2020 election was rigged, despite no evidence. During Trump's first term, the U.S. removed Turkey from its flagship F-35 fighter jet program after Turkey purchased an air defense system from Russia. U.S. officials worried that Turkey's use of Russia's S-400 surface-to-air missile system could be used to gather data on the capabilities of the F-35 and that the information could end up in Russian hands. Trump started his 2-hour meeting with Erdogan by offering hope that a resolution to the matter could be found during the leaders' talks. Erdogan has made clear he's eager to see the hold on F-35s lifted. Trump says it was a good meeting, but he's not offering further details. It was Erdogan's first trip to the White House since 2019. Over the years, U.S. officials have cited concerns about Turkey's human rights record under Erdogan and the country's ties with Russia. Tensions between Turkey and Israel, another important American ally, over Gaza and Syria have made relations difficult with Turkey at times. Trump in remarks before reporters focused his concerns on Turkey's continued economic relationship with Russia. Turkey has been one of the biggest buyers of Russian fossil fuel since the European Union announced in early 2023 it would boycott most Russian seaborne oil. Since January 2023, Ankara has purchased more than $90 billion in Russian oil, coal and natural gas. Only China and India have bought more from Russia in that period.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with President Erdogan of Turkey, and we've been friends for a long time, actually, even for 4 years when I was in exile, unfairly, as it turns out. Rigged election, you know, he knows about rigged elections better than anybody. But when I was in exile, we were still friends. That's always a good way to find out, test a friendship. But he's a highly respected man. He's respected very much in his country and all throughout Europe and throughout the world where they know him. He's built a tremendous military, powerful military, uses a lot of our equipment. And it's an honor to have him at the White House. We're going to have a lunch together. We're going to have a discussion, big discussion. We do a lot of trade with Turkey, and we're going to continue. We're going to do some additional trade. They want to buy F-16s, F-35s, and some other things. And we're going to talk to them about that. And we're just going to have, I think, a very interesting couple of hours. We're going to get a lot done. But I have great respect for this man, and we've had a very good relationship for a long time. But it's a great honor to have the President of Turkey with us. And how are you?
Fine.
Say a few words.
And you?
Great guy.
Öncelikle bu ziyaretimizi Birleşmiş Milletler Genel Kurulu'yla iç içe olan bir dönemde gerçekleştirdiğimizden dolayı arkadaşlarımla beraber çok mutluyuz. Gerek Sayın Trump'ın birinci döneminde gerekse ikinci dönemde Türkiye-Amerika ilişkilerinde farklı bir süreci yaşıyoruz. Kendilerinin de az önce ifade ettiği gibi gerek F-35 konusu, gerek F-16 konusu, gerekse Halk Bankası'yla ilgili aramızdaki ilişkiler konusunu bugün etraflıca görüşme fırsatı bulacağımıza inanıyorum. Heybeliada okuluyla ilgili ise orada üzerimize ne düşerse biz onu zaten yapmaya hazırız. Dönünce de Sayın Bartolomeo'yla bu konuyu görüşme fırsatı bulacağım.
Okay, very good. I would like to be able to do that. The Greek Orthodox Church was here, and they would really like to have some help. They need some help, and I said I'd mention it. We appreciate it. So this is a tough man. This is a guy who's highly opinionated. Usually I don't like opinionated people, but I always like this one. But he's a tough one, and he does an amazing job in his country. And we've had tremendous relationships, both having to do with war and having to do with trade. And I guess today we're talking about both. I'd like to have him stop buying any oil from Russia while Russia continues this rampage against Ukraine. And they've been fighting. They've lost millions of lives already. And for what? You know, for what? It's disgraceful. And I said yesterday, let it keep going because their economy is absolutely terrible right now. And I think it's a shame that they're doing that, killing a lot of people unnecessarily. 7,818 people were killed last week, mostly military people, their people, and Ukrainians. More Russians, actually, than Ukraine, a little bit more. But it's such a waste of human life, and so he ought to stop. Putin ought to stop. And with that, we'll get to a little bit of a discussion. We're going to make some great trade deals for both countries. We do a lot of business with Turkey. They build great products. They build beautiful, great products, really fantastic manufacturers. And we buy a lot from them and they buy a lot from us. Would you have any questions, please?